All right, man. Season 6, episode 22. We got a special guest, man.
There's famous people here.
Famous people, legendary people,
in the city.
real Indianapolis OGs. Seriously.
Yeah.
Man, give a round of applause to DJ Metronome,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Metronome. Household name. Household name.
I know him. That's what you're saying right now.
Yeah, I know the bag is massive.
It's contractual.
Yeah, it's SX5th.
Yeah, you got to sign a contract.
They got water I've never seen before.
No handshake agreements.
That water special.
Yeah.
That's a lot of hype. I don't know.
Nah, we know what it is. We know what it is. Metronome, we know. And that's why we're happy to have you. Where can everybody find you, man?
You mean in person, online? What are you talking about?
Don't find me in
social
person.
media. Social media. Your
right.
handles.
So yeah, just DJ Metronome, Metro like Garden Gnome. So METROGNOME on Twitter.
That G would
Instagram.
confuse some people.
Look,
I'm people.
It's really a short joke. It's really a short joke, actually. My best friend Big O, he's 6'7", so he always has short jokes for me. So that's how the name came.
Damn, that's tight.
So yeah,
That's a good
Worked
joke.
out for you.
yeah, but Metronome obviously keeps time,
Exactly.
keeps
It's
the
always
beat.
on beat.
That's what
Yeah.
DJ is supposed to do.
Wow, look at that. That's fire.
It is.
Well, erase that question. We always start off every interview with the pregame podcast pop quiz. Going to ask you flurry of questions. Do your best to answer. Let's get to it.
All right. So, if you could bring back any event or club from Indianapolis the past 20 years, and get your craziest set off you could, what would it be?
So I'm biased here. I don't know if you guys ever attended these, but shout out to my man Doug from Old Soul Entertainment. We did stuff for a number of years together. He stopped doing events, I think, in 2017. So it seems recent, but there is, there's this Versus series, right?
Yeah.
Going on.
Yeah.
So before that, years before that, me and Doug were doing a Versus party here in Indy, and we would put together two groups or a concept. We already been on that. Indianapolis is way ahead of the game.
Where
was it?
It was actually called the Icon Series, but it actually started the first time I did it was a Prince versus Michael party that we did in 2007.
Was it the Vogue?
We did them at the Vogue. We did them at the Jazz Kitchen.
Wow.
We would do them at different spots. But anyway, so that's real close to my heart. We haven't done one in about 5 years. That's probably what people ask about them all the time. So I would say probably
History in the building.
Damn, Prince versus Michael. Who you got, Ree?
Wow.
You got to choose, man.
Well, it's hard. Well, I tell you what,
They're really close to his heart.
They are.
it depends on who came. It depends on what tracks you play.
Mm-hmm.
Who's coming to work. Like, there's songs neither one can beat. It just matters when you play them.
That's fair.
That's a nice political
That's
answer.
real.
Thanks for
I
that.
don't know who wins. I really don't.
You know who
Did you
wins.
do the Michael and Prince?
We've done it probably 6 or 7 times. So
Y'all
I've
not
done
big
both.
Prince
You done
fans?
both of them? Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all not big Prince fans, but some songs can only be like, well, that's a win.
I'll tell you what, my
The beautiful ones comes
perspective
on, it wins.
Hey, that's
The
real.
beautiful ones comes on, it wins. I don't know what Mike got for the beautiful ones.
You know what I've taken away is that there's more Michael fans, but there's more passionate Prince fans.
That's fair.
So it's kind of
That's fair
an
to say.
Got
interesting
you.
balance.
Prince fans get tattoos.
Yeah.
They'll get that symbol on their leg and a heartbeat.
Oh, my goodness.
And a heartbeat.
Mike never had a symbol. He damn near missed out on that.
He's
Got a
I guess it was a
glove.
glove.
Yeah.
Love, yeah.
Still Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still
And the
Michael Jackson.
moonwalk.
And the
Yeah.
moonwalk. Literally.
Yeah.
He's earned.
It's tougher than you think it is, though.
I'll go next, man. I know you got the soccer background.
I do.
Shout out to the Red Devils.
That's right.
Favorite soccer player of all time and why?
Man, so a lot of these guys, people watching can be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Probably my favorite is a guy named Edgar Davids. He was a midfielder for the Dutch national team. Growing up, I mean, I got a few, man. I played central midfield, so
Okay.
he was, he was like the general, on the
The
field.
central midfielder is very important.
He just
Yeah.
made this interview very intimate because he just don't want us to know about it.
I'm totally guessing.
It's a
Like,
one-on-one
Zinedine
now.
Zidane?
Yeah, if he was a beast, he was one of my favorites.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
So he started headbutting
Well, yeah.
people.
I know him.
He was on his way out.
Nah, he's a legend.
that was incredible. I remember that.
It was
I was
wild.
watching that live.
Motherfucker.
I couldn't believe it. I said, "Is that soccer always goes?" Should have been watching soccer.
I have lots of favorites, man. I could run that. Like, put it this way: I don't know if we're gonna get here in the interview, but I literally wouldn't be a DJ if it wasn't for soccer. So, like,
Wow.
if I would argue that my passion for soccer might exceed DJing. Actually,
Wow. We gonna talk about
Yeah,
Yeah,
this.
that's gonna
So-
come back up.
He
Yeah.
geeked up.
Very. For sure.
Damn,
we played on the same field at some point.
That's true. Yeah.
I didn't play that much. I think you probably played a lot.
I came out of Pike in '99.
Was that fair?
Yeah, I've known Theron since I was probably 8. So they graduated in '91. My brother played as well at Pike, graduated in '95. But Theron coached me when I was a kid, and then I graduated in '99. And I came back and coached in the early 2000s. When were you there?
We were there. I was there from 05 to 09.
Okay, so I coached 01, 02. I was coaching with
Went to high school with some legends. You went to high school with Jeremy Allen.
Yeah, Jeremy's my guy.
You went to high school with Isaac and Cade.
Yeah, Isaac was my guy. We went to
y'all
Guyan together.
Some real Pike legends. Y'all don't know them.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know them.
We all went to Guyan together.
That's crazy.
Way back. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Chris Thomas.
That's crazy. Yeah, obviously Chris Thomas. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Isaac and Cade has slept on in the Pike basketball community.
Real history in here,
Brought
man.
our first championship.
That's real.
For sure. Shout out to Metronome.
I had a basketball
We're gonna talk about
question.
soccer later on. Though.
Does basketball matter to you at all or no?
No, I grew up playing. I played too. I played at Guyan, but I kind of had to choose. So I don't follow it now as closely as I did at one point. But when I was a kid, I was a fanatic. You know.
Got you.
So, yeah.
It's not as cool anymore. I was gonna say, but I know you're a veteran DJ. Obviously, you have your game is what it is now. I was gonna say, who do you relate your DJing to as far as basketball players go?
I would have to. I haven't thought specifically about that, but I have a philosophy that I think I could attach. So, in terms of DJing, I've noticed that people DJ their personality. So whatever. Like for example, I'll shout out. You guys probably don't know him, but I consider him to be kind of an indie OG and legend. There's a guy named Scott Metallic. He's a couple years older than me. He went to Ritter. Amazing. I've seen this dude make maybe 3 mistakes. I play with him hundreds of times. He does not make mistakes when he plays. Like literally 0 mistakes ever.
Wow.
But he's really quiet, reserved, calm. The way that he plays his personality. A lot of people, like, if they're boisterous and big personalities, that's how they play.
In a DJ booth doing this.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're never gonna see me do that ever because that's just not even who I am. Right. So, which is fine. It's all good. But if I thought like that, I would probably say maybe I'm like John Stockton. You know, something like that.
Super finesse.
Yeah.
Get the job done.
Get the job done. Kind of like I've always felt like a, jack of all trades, king of none kind of a situation. So
I'm with it.
Shout out to Stockton, man. If it wasn't a guy named Michael Jordan, he'd have 2 rings.
Yeah,
that's
he
true.
would.
Damn, maybe 3. Shit.
Dream team.
And the mailman.
Could be 3.
The mailman.
My question is generic, but I think it's important. If you could, and you might actually, because you went to high school in the 90s, if you could tour DJ for anybody in the 90s during their prime, who would it be?
Just because it would be crazy, and I've shared the stage with a few of them, not as a whole group, but probably Wu-Tang, just because it would be nuts.
Wow.
Just because like
the
I
stories
just
would
can't
be in
imagine.
abundance.
I mean, you got 9 dudes that are all wilding out. Like, I think it would be more exciting than just one.
Fair.
So
I like that.
I think in terms of excitement, that would probably be it.
I feel like just keeping attendance on the Wu-Tang tour is probably difficult.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is ODB gonna make the show today?
Right.
I don't know, man.
ODB ain't been here in 3 days. What we gonna do, man?
We ain't seen him in the
The
grip,
show
bro.
must go on, but shit.
That's real.
They gonna be here in the summer too. I'm thinking about going, but so I'm a Nas fan, right?
Yeah, me too.
I'm a safe Nas fan. I'm not a Wu-Tang fan. I feel like if I'm amongst the Wu-Tang fans, they gonna out me.
What do you mean?
Because there's gonna be a lot of Wu-Tang shit going on. I'm not gonna notice stuff.
There's gonna be a lot of Nas fans in the building because he doesn't really tour like that.
That's true. I feel like during their set though, I'm just kind of be.
Yeah. Oh, cash rules everything around me.
Yeah.
It is true that you are going to have an easier time. You're going to have a lot of Target Wu-Tang fans, meaning that you can go to Target and buy their shirt. You can't find an Illmatic shirt at Target.
It's not that easy.
You're going to see a lot of Wu-Tang shirts at that show. That's true.
Wow,
I'm thinking about it, though. I'm really considering it because I saw Nas in Detroit like 6 months ago though, so I'm kind of filled already. But this might be a little different.
I'm definitely gonna be there, so I'll let you know.
If you miss it, I'll let you know.
Round of applause, DJ Metronome, man, for coming through.
Stuff to be here.
It's a big deal, man. I'm gonna start off, man. You already alluded to this story. I want to know, you play soccer, it's part of your family. How did this then lead to you becoming DJ Metronome?
So I'm gonna try to keep this brief without being too long-winded. Like I mentioned, I took soccer very seriously. I traveled, did the thing growing up where I trained I was unusual, I guess you could say, because my dad would literally like wake me up at like 5:30 in the morning before middle school. I was running sprints before school started. In middle school. Like it was serious. Did the whole Olympic development team thing.
ODB.
Did that. So I made varsity, played varsity all 4 years at Pike, which is a challenging thing to do because at the time we were always top 5.
Yeah,
in the
legends
state.
only do that.
Yeah, so I just took it really seriously. And long story short, I had a great career, all county, all state, all whatever, blah blah blah. Thought I was gonna go on and play in college. Long story short, it didn't work out the way I thought. So I went to University of Cincinnati. Things didn't pan out. I ended up coming back to Indiana, and I had a period where I wasn't doing anything. Like, I need to be doing something. I can't sit there. I don't play video games. Like, that's not me. So for about a year and a half, I literally was just like bored out of my mind. I went through, I guess the only time I feel like I've really been depressed. And I was like, man, fuck this. I'm gonna teach myself how to do something. So
you were 23-ish.
I was 22.
22,
Yep,
22,
I was 22 when
it's the roughest time of your life, man.
Yeah. Trying to figure it
out.
out.
What do I do?
Yeah, what do I do? Yeah.
That's the roughest time of your life.
Not because you've already planned the next 4, and then that 4
and you don't get it.
Exactly.
I know it's good that job. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Idle minds, devil's doy out, man. It's dangerous.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I knew
good.
that was the age because that's the
exactly.
struggle years.
Yeah, so I needed to commit my time to something. So I just bought turntables and just decided to teach myself and figure it out. So.
This would have been like 01, 02 or something like that?
It was September of 2002.
Wow, what was that first gig for you?
The very first gig I played was so there's this group on campus down at IU called Hip Hop Congress. We were a national nonprofit. We did all kind of events, but I did this like basement party that was not really that tight. So, but that's okay because I was trash.
I got bad news. I got the IU in 08. There was no Hip Hop Congress anymore. It didn't. I don't think it stayed around.
Yeah.
What was that moment where you're like, okay, I'm out to really pursue this? Like, I got some talent here.
I don't know that I really necessarily had like kind of an epiphany like that or that like aha moment. But there was a cat who kind of became my first mentor. He was definitely like way better than me. It's a cat named DJ Wushu. He's out in Denver now.
Wow.
He's a beast.
Shout out to Wushu.
Yeah, he's a beast. And he was the first one in Bloomington where he was like clearly better than everyone else. But we just vibed and just got along well. So he allowed me to start opening. It was a spot called Uncle Fester's at the time. I think now it's called the Dunkirk or something.
I know that place.
It used to be called Uncle Fester's back in the day. He did a Wednesday night hip hop night. So he would let me and this other cat, Jeff, open. And if you guys are familiar with Action Jackson around the city,
yes.
He also started under Wushu.
So you got Bloomington ties too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yep. So that's for me. I was in Bloomington when I started DJing. So that's where it started. But when I tell you I was trash, like all my friends lied to me. They would show up and be like, "Yeah, you're doing great," and like 5 years later, like, "Yo, bro, you were terrible."
By terrible, like what is
glad you came out of that.
What does terrible look like though? Is it like you were playing the wrong songs? Your transition sucked?
Both.
Okay.
Like, all of the above. Yeah.
It's not really stunk, bro.
Yeah. No, I was terrible. Yeah. So it was just one of those things. Like I personally, we may talk about this at some point tonight, whatever. But I personally see DJing both in terms of technical skill and in terms of the emotional component, tapping into the crowd, playing the right records, right? I was not good at any of it.
In your defense, though, y'all didn't have a ton. I mean, y'all had some stuff to work with back then, but it was
all records. There was no computers, no Serato.
Wow, you really from the old school.
Yeah, I started on wax.
And 02, let's see, 02 I'd have been like 6th grade. Nah, the music was still decent. Never mind. You weren't like the Snap era, like struggling through Snap records trying to transition.
That was like, that happened a couple years in, so I was like really finding my footing at that time, but I also wasn't really a huge fan of the music, which made it hard because I was now in this space where like I'm technically starting to get a little bit better, but I didn't really like the music. So
dropping Soulja Boy records was dead in your eyes, like not even really in the mood.
Lil Jon is hard to do it.
But
Lil Jon's hard to deal with.
But Lil Jon had some slappers.
He did, man. Listen, Crunk Juice is a classic.
Absolutely.
Kings of Crime, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So what, you've kind of seen it all, man. Going back to DJing, just, back to the early 2000s. What do you feel like has changed the most in the game?
DJing specifically?
Yeah, DJing specifically. How do you feel about it today?
Yeah, I'm pretty passionate about this. the thing is that I acknowledge that things are going to change. I acknowledge that technology can be a good thing, but I also acknowledge it can be a bad thing. DJing has never been easier. Anybody thinks they can do it. And to be real, most of the people that people think are good DJs now that are coming up might not really be that good. And that's like a hot take that people don't want to hear.
Ouch.
Because also people like to keep in mind there was no social media other than like maybe MySpace or something like that really at the time. So there was no real time gassing of each other like there is now.
Right.
So people gas each other all the time. And I just think it's like really, really wild.
Said some of y'all DJs are mid out here.
He's saying that as respectfully as he could possibly say it.
I was gonna ask a name, but I know you're not gonna tell me. So
I mean,
who do you think sucks?
No,
he's not even gonna do
Pre-game
that.
pop quiz. 5th question. Who's trash?
Who's ass?
Nah, I feel you. I understand what you're saying.
I mean, so to you asked earlier, like, was it the transitions or was it playing the wrong songs or whatever? The thing is that. And I understand why this could be like debatable, but just playing the right songs is not enough for me to say that you're a good DJ. My grandma could stand up there and play the right songs.
He's an aux chord DJ. He all about playing the right song, but he don't go up there and say he's a DJ. He just says, "I get you on the aux."
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So I mean, it's just to me, you have to possess some skill. And this is the thing. I'll make this simple. Nowadays, there's also, and some people are like pro or anti the sync button. Are you guys familiar with the sync button?
No, sir. I don't know what the sync button is.
Okay, so he's familiar with it.
Sync button here.
I don't have a sync.
Oh, cool.
It actually probably is somewhere on there. Most likely.
It's right here.
Yep.
Got you.
Okay.
But I don't use it though.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So here's the thing, there's cats like legends like Jazzy Jeff. And other OGs that don't hate on the sync button. But as someone that opened up a school and tries to teach people to DJ with their hands in their ears and not their eyes and not just the technology, what that button does theoretically is if you hit it, it keeps your mixes held together. Meaning that
it's cheat code.
It's cheating, right? Like it's gluing your tracks together so that you don't have to physically be able to do it. Now, you asked me about basketball. If I could put on LeBron James jersey and his shoes and go put up 63 on somebody, but I take it off and I'm Nick Salago and I really can't hoop, would that be a problem? That would be a problem.
Yeah.
That is what's happening in DJing.
It's like ghost DJ.
Wow.
That's what's happening in DJing.
The sync button is y'all's power suit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the next part and just pop it.
Yeah.
Transition suck, bro.
Cut it off.
Push sync, bro.
Turn the sync button off, bro.
Boys, freeze up.
and that's a hot take because a lot of people don't like that idea, or there is more to it, so it's not as simple as the sync button, but it's those things that have those technologies on one hand have introduced more people to DJing, which theoretically is a good thing,
Right.
But on the other hand, it makes things so simple in some ways that you can cut corners.
Wow.
There was no way for us to cut those corners.
So without it, you would have to your timing would have to be impeccable, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta
Your
be on
timing,
Which is why. So I'm thinking about the movie Juice. Like Omar Epps is up there.
Going
I got
crazy
Yeah.
before
I
his
got
life
it.
changed forever.
Oh shit, I can't hear. And if I can't hear, I'm fucked.
Yeah,
Because I gotta be.
So let me tell you what's funny about this. I had this thought last night that I was coming on this show, and I thought, for whatever reason, I haven't thought about the movie Juice in a minute.
That's crazy.
But I thought that somebody would ask me about Juice.
Yeah.
I knew this was going to happen, right? So Omar Epps and all of the DJing in the movie Juice was done or curated by DJ Scratch, who's from EPMD. He's considered to be one of the greats. He's actually come to Decademix, to the school before, and helped some students. But the thing is imagine now in 2022 where the DJs don't possess the level of skill that DJ Scratch had. Imagine them making a movie and trying to teach people to DJ or performing in some way. All it's going to be is what it is now. Because there is no skill in a lot of people's repertoire.
Yep.
So
And
they
we
have to
don't-
rely on other things that are kind of
Yeah, and I feel like I didn't know any of this.
right.
So as a consumer,
The people are fooled.
yeah, I don't know what.
Right.
I don't know.
I remember,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
and it's like some of the transition you speak of where it went to technology. Like, I remember people picking up DJ equipment and be like, DJ now.
Right.
You got the thing on your computer screen.
Right.
You just I'm like, damn, you DJ? Like, yeah, I got the board and look, I can do this. I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking DJing is from Juice. You gotta have a record. You gotta be Eric, kick ass.
It's based in reality.
You gotta be doing this shit. I remember thinking, damn, everybody DJing. My whole high school, it just took off. Because I went to school in 2002, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. What's happened in DJing, and the easiest thing for me to equate would never ever be allowed to happen in sports. You could never take somebody off the street that just wants to. That's the cool guy that knows, somebody that works for the Indiana Pacers. They're not putting him on the team, right? You have to have the ability and the skill to perform. Right. Period. Nowadays, that's not what it is. It's like, do you have a laptop? Do you play songs I like? Oh, cool. You're a good DJ. No. Right. Like you just play songs that they like. You don't play them well.
You're the radio.
Yeah. Well, I'm not hating on the whole experience. All I'm saying is there's a gap in what I came up with.
The actual skills necessary.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No,
so
go ahead, Deuce.
I feel like the skill set is definitely important. So I'm like scratching. I feel like there's a time and place for it. Do you feel like that's really what you got to be able to do to be considered a DJ, or is it more than that?
So, I'm sorry, remind me your name on that? Q. Okay, so I was just talking to Q possibly about potentially taking classes, right, at Decademix. So we start every single student, no matter their level of experience, with scratching because, we mentioned other people. Ferris was a student for a while. Draft Pick he was a student. Strick was a student. All these people were
you got
students.
Some alumni.
Yeah. I mean, now, granted, I didn't necessarily, some of them came in at different levels and knew different things.
But they've seen you.
But the thing is that what scratching allows you to do is it's not that we just scratch during a set all the time. That's not what happens. But what it allows you to do is bring in the record differently, control the record differently. So if you hear me getting funky, getting ready to bring the record in, I have the ability to control it and do that. All someone else has the ability to do is tap the pad a bunch and then fade it in. Like, you're not going to hear them do that.
Wow.
It's not about necessarily just going onto a scratch solo all night. Like, no, that actually happens very infrequently. Somebody good to pay attention to, who is like the super OG locally, is Top Speed. Have any of you guys ever seen Top Speed play?
Nah, not in person. Heard his name though.
I've heard the name.
He's. I mean, I'm not just like dick riding here. Like people know him. He's taught long before he works at Decademix, but he's taught hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of DJs, and he's considered the most skilled by far, collectively, to come out of Indiana. Anytime I go anywhere out of the city or out of the state, I'll be in LA or Portland or New York, whatever. Oh, you know Top Speed? Like, as soon as they hear Indianapolis, they know him.
Well, shout out DJ Top Speed.
And he's a good one to watch if you want to really see the marriage of mixing and skill set. And you can find him at Coaches. He's at Coaches all the time with me. But like, he's a good example of somebody that knows when and how to handle that.
I got a question. I want to get to Decademix too, because it's coming. At this point, y'all are definitely having a huge impact on the scene of DJs here, their ability, what they do, etc. But I've always had this thought process that Indianapolis DJs are the best DJs in the world, because I feel like that whole blending concept. You don't necessarily get that when you go to New York City, or you get that when you go to LA. You go out to a place that doesn't happen. But it's something that NAP DJs, since I've been a kid, have always, done.
Yeah.
And done it well. So what is your take on that? Am I correct in thinking that way?
Generally, yes. So I mean, I think that Indy is super, super slept on in terms of a lot of people around the country just don't know, or I guess respect us in lots of ways, right?
It's only corn here.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody that's not
anybody
really.
Yeah, we get that a lot, but that is a stylistic thing that is different to Indianapolis. Now, I'm not going to go out and say Indy literally has the best DJs. I mean, look, Philly has produced a cajillion amazing DJs. There's the Bay Area is tons and tons. Right. I'm not going to sit here and turn this into a battle thing, but in terms of style, I kind of think that we have a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? So we are absolutely up there.
Crossroads of America.
Yeah. I've
we
had
grow DJs here.
Yeah,
we do.
I don't know. I've been to.
I like it.
I've been out.
I like that. Yeah.
I've been out in a lot of cities, and I'm not a name dropper. Even some of the weakest DJs I've heard here could go to Playhouse in Hollywood and
turn it
burn it down.
Right.
Let me ask you this though.
Trash people.
On the flip side, is the sound they're playing out there what they're looking for at Playhouse
Maybe.
versus what you're looking for from here?
Yeah,
that would be the question.
That's part of it too.
If you put the nap DJ, I don't know who you're talking about, so I can say this. Putting the nap DJ that has your style that you like in Playhouse, they might get booed out of there. Because that Playhouse DJ might be giving them exactly what they want as an LA person. That's all I'm.
Draft pick would burn Playhouse.
I mean, pick my dog.
I stand on that.
But I just don't know what the sound they're looking for. Like you said, you go to Philly. What does Philly want?
Right. You're right.
They might want a whole different thing. Coming there playing R&B, they're gonna be like, get the fuck out of here.
But think about that. Nap wants to hear. I'm in the club, fucked up. I got
absolutely.
But sometimes you need to go away from that and show people what they really need to hear.
Yes, they do.
It's a classic.
Let's go, Boost.
I want to ask you, how do you know where's that line for you to where like, all right, I gotta get people what they want, but also I think they should hear this too.
Man, these are great questions. So I have two different philosophies, and I employ philosophies differently depending on the situation and how I'm booked and where I'm playing. My philosophies are twofold. One, you play who's present. You play who's in front of you, right? So, like, for example, when I'm playing at Tiki Bob's, I'm playing Boosie. Like, it's happening.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. But when I play at Coach's Tuesday night, the other philosophy is you play for who you want there. So, for example, you mentioned Nas, and this is a concept that a lot of people I feel like are kind of uncomfortable with. But you mentioned Nas. I'm also a Nas fan. Where in the city can you go out and hear Nas?
Not many places.
Okay, virtually nowhere, right? Virtually nowhere.
My house.
Your house,
yes.
Right. So if I want, and that's why Take That Tuesday, we have a no request rule, and I deliberately try to work in stuff that I literally don't care if the crowd likes it. I couldn't care less, because I've turned it into a DJ's night where it's about not playing the Boosie records and Too Short, Blow the Whistle and all the records that we have to play all the time. I get it. I don't hate on the record. They're good records. However, what else do you have in your repertoire? What else is in your library?
Yeah. Right. What else do you know?
Can you play album cuts?
What are your deep cuts?
Yeah, what are your deep cuts? And Coaches, for example, is a spot where I want the DJs to show up and play the songs that they can't play anywhere else. Right? So, like, they're two totally different philosophies. I'm not doing that when I'm at Tiki Bob's. I'm hired to do one thing. Right. I'm going in there. I'm playing the hits, whatever. I may or may not like them. I'm just doing a job. Other spots are, And
I imagine the goal is for me to be like, Deuce, I can fuck with this bar called Coaches. Tuesday night, buddy, he played all Nas deep cut. Yeah. What, for real? Yes. All of them. You might check it out.
Would you say it's important, when you think about that resume for a young DJ in the city, is it important to have coaches on there? Do you got to rock out Coaches?
I've been told that yes, that is from a
that's an event.
That's one of the stepping stones.
Yeah.
It's a nice bar too. I've been there. It's really cool.
We've had so I've been doing that night every week we just had our 16-year anniversary.
Wow.
And we've had
Tuesday nights.
Yeah, every Tuesday for 16 years. I've had over 150 guest DJs from around the country, but obviously mostly local.
Is there a cover?
There's no cover, no dress code.
Okay.
We literally don't even have security. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but
don't say that.
So and it's because
it's organic.
To me, it's an organic, pure thing. I could have put a cover on it. I don't do it for the money. I do it so that I can show up and play. I might play. The other thing is that we call it Take That Tuesdays because whatever we play, you got to take it. Now, trust, there's people that don't. Some people come in, they hear it's pop, like supposed to be popping, they don't like it. I'll give you an example. This is actually kind of a funny story. What's my dude that the R&B singer? Well, not my dude.
Right.
That sang Permission.
Ro
James.
So Ro James showed up one time, like 3 or 4 years ago.
2-3 years ago.
And he started talking shit. We ran him out of there and started, kind of got after him, and it turned into this big online thing because he was like yapping about it. But he also had no connection to the spot. He didn't know what it was. He didn't know what we did there. So some people aren't going to feel it. That's fine. But again, we're playing for who we want there. If you want to hear some Nas joints, come to Tuesday.
Come Tuesday.
I've heard is legendary.
But it could be reggae. It could be soul. I might play some Tina Marie. I might play I'll play the Kendrick album cuts that whatever. Like you're gonna get
Fuck you.
A little
Yeah,
bit of
we wanna hear
everything. Yeah, ADHD. Like you don't really hear ADHD
Nah,
out.
it's very
Like,
difficult.
I play that
That
all
would
the
be-
time.
that would be
Friday Night Lights.
Crazy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's what I thought.
And
out there.
I think that brings.
It needs
I think
to be
that makes
played.
people a fan. I love going out. I love hearing DJs. Shout out to DJ Solo Show. I spoke about this before.
That's another student.
Yeah,
Tyler.
he Mystical Danger is one of my favorite songs. Has been since the day it came out. Never until a month and a half ago have I ever heard it in any function I've ever been to.
But you levitated a little bit.
I did. I said, I was like, wow. And that's when you're talking about playing the stuff that you want to hear, you know, or the kind of people you want to bring in. I think that's important.
Yeah.
I love that she said that.
So as an Indianapolis DJ, I always think of like, you know, back in the day they used to like break records. And in my time frame, they were breaking like disc records. That was the thing that they would do the premiere of. Have you ever had the pleasure of like really breaking a song out? And if you did, what was it?
Yeah. I mean, I've broken lots of records, but I mean, you know, it's not necessarily like breaking a record like Funkmaster Flex on Hot 97, well, more importantly, like that's a captive audience that is like massive, right? Like whoever New York radio is going to have a lot of people listening. So I mean, speaking of Kendrick and ADHD as an example, so when Section 80 came out. Obviously, he didn't blow up till Good Kid, Mad City, right?
Right.
I've been playing Section 80. We played that on Tuesdays. I played that, me and Limelight. I don't know if you guys know DJ
Shout out
Limelight.
DJ Limelight.
It's cold.
But
Legend.
so Limelight and I
Legendary.
came up together. We literally ascended at the same time, like
Wow.
as a partnership.
Got you.
And we did a party on Thursdays at the spot called Room 929, which is now torn down. But
I remember. I've been there.
Yeah.
Wow, right there in Broad Ripple.
yeah, right there in
On the back-
Broadville. Yep, on the backside. Yeah. So
Gone.
So like all the Section 80 stuff, I was running all those records before they were popular. And ironically, this is actually kind of a funny story. I mentioned Doug from Old Soul. We failed to book Kendrick Lamar for $2,000.
Ooh, blew it.
Back then.
Wow.
Because we knew we would lose money because we weren't getting our $2,000 back
Right,
because this
right.
is, mind you, this is like probably like January of 2012. Before
I'm pulled up.
Oh, no, we saw Kendrick at White River for $30.
exactly, yeah.
All the Top Dog, like all of
TDE.
them.
I still laugh about that. Like, could have booked Kendrick, didn't do it.
We got a
Yes.
frat brother that could have booked Jeremiah and they didn't let him. He was really mad about that too.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, there's tons of records. I mean, that I've broken over the. I don't have like a list.
That's fair. I just didn't know. I just feel like nowadays you're playing. They've already heard it because on the internet before
That's
they
true.
get to you.
No, that is true. Yeah, it's actually impossible for DJs to keep up, and we're actually at a disadvantage now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've already heard it before I get to the show that night.
Wow. That's crazy. It's just crazy that the perspective has changed so much. You think about the, technology where like I could be my own DJ. Even the radio.
Yeah.
The radio, I don't need the radio. I could play my own shit.
Yeah.
You're not gonna play what I want to hear, man. There's a song right now I know you don't have.
It's good for people
So-
with kids. I play it because I got kids.
Yeah, it's
in the
good.
car.
Yeah, it's clean edit, but like it's crazy to even thinking about that. That like even with the aux core and everything else is taken away from DJing and making that more difficult for you all.
Yeah.
Nuts. I want to hear the origin story for Decademix. Decademix is I've seen it for years now. It's the DJ school in the city and clearly has a huge impact on the city of Indianapolis when it comes to this particular craft. What is that origin story?
So we've already kind of touched on it, but you didn't know that. So soccer led to me starting to DJ down at IU, right? So I'm down there, and I mentioned Hip Hop Congress. So I was in this thing called Hip Hop Congress, and national nonprofit. We would go to our annual meetings or whatever. Well, anyways, they wanted at the time, as I was graduating in 2005, they wanted me to start an Indianapolis chapter because almost all the hip hop congresses were on college campuses. So Oakland had recently, I think Seattle, and like maybe one city on the East Coast had created a community chapter that wasn't located on a college campus. They wanted to get more community involvement. So they asked me to start one in Indy. I just so happened gotten to be invited to the Martin Luther King Community Center at 40th and Illinois to come to this get together. There's just a meeting of the minds. It wasn't supposed to be anything necessarily like this, but I told them about Hip Hop Congress, told them what the mission was. We did a lot of social and civic stuff, voter registration, community outreach. We did
That
all
was a
kind-
frat.
Yeah.
Hilarious. That's funny. So
No
long
frat community
story
service on
short,
here.
we got a $5,000 grant.
Okay.
After creating Hip Hop Congress, we got a $5,000 grant to teach. We called it Elements, but we taught DJing, poetry / emceeing, and then breakdancing. So we did that at the MLK Center from 2007 to late 2009, about 2.5, almost 3 years. It was cool, but we were in the basement. Nobody knew we were there. We had 3 setups in one room with 1 set of speakers. So it was like, Tony, stop doing that. Mike's, it was just chaotic. It was just too much going on. So I was like, this is cool. I was also an education major in college. I graduated with an education degree from IU. So teaching was already kind of something I was interested in doing, but I didn't want to have to have a regular job.
I feel it.
So I ended up.
And them kids bad as hell.
Some of them.
You get to pick your kids now.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyways, that's how it started. Was from that grant, and teaching at the beginning allowed me to kind of foster the idea. Sat on it for about 2.5 years. Saved money, bought equipment. It slowly started to level up, and that's how it happened. And we officially formed the business in 2012, but we opened in February 2014. So
where's Decademix at?
We're at 61st and College. Do you know where the Vogue is?
Yes.
Okay, so we're at 61st and College on the north side, and we are on the opposite side of the street from the Vogue, about a block and a half south.
Okay.
So we're very close.
Good property.
To Broadable Strip.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, they're gonna take care of that for sure.
Yeah, except for that red line, that sucks.
We used to have parking. We don't have parking anymore. Yeah.
We got stickers up over there
now. I really see anybody get on that red line. So it's like 2 people.
Yeah.
They're not a public transit city.
We not.
They're trying to make it one.
They keep acting like we
It
are.
won't take you where you want to go.
Yeah.
It doesn't take you to.
And they don't want you to come where
They
you
want
want
you
to
to see heaven.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna take you past. You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah,
you did
I
that,
can't get to my job
more
in
people
Carmel.
will you can't get up there.
Yeah. Doesn't go past 86.
Well, that's actually because that's a county issue.
Yeah.
Because they don't have they don't have the funding yet. They're talking about extending it, but Carmel has to agree. Hamilton County has to agree.
And
to that.
there's a bus in Whitestown. I've seen it.
If they would let that bus, if
There's
the
a bus
red
in
line
Whitestown.
took you to Clay Terrace, that motherfucker would be fat.
I'm
Fat.
about to have a red line, bro.
Fat.
Crazy, but
There's a bus in Whitestown.
But
It takes to the Amazon shop and right back.
Purple line and blue line that are, if they finish them all, we'll go out to Lawrence and connect the east and west side.
Where I come from, the red line's dangerous, so stay wary of the red line.
It's cool now down here though.
Yeah,
Where do you come from?
The Chicagoland area.
Okay, I taught up there for a brief bit. In the
don't
south
get on
side.
the red line.
Inglewood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a wild boy.
I taught
Shout out to Metronome.
I taught at 74th and Morgan.
Yeah,
at
good thing.
Stack
Yeah.
Middle
To the
School.
O.
Yeah.
Shout out to Metronome. I guess my question.
I'm glad you made it out of there.
Yeah, I'm
Shout out
glad
to
you're
you.
here with
Shout
us
out
right
to
now.
the gnome came in
I
handy
saw
for
some
sure.
wild stuff.
Yeah,
but,
you did.
Yeah, but you made it.
You're stronger.
How
for
many DJs have you all seen come through the program?
So people ask this question pretty often. It's kind of hard to answer because So we have a bunch of different programs that people like. We have single day classes, and
Wow.
we do DJ date nights for couples. And
Damn, this sounds cool.
Yeah,
I might look into that.
we do all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be at that one. I'm gonna be at that one.
yeah. Yeah.
They go from like this to this.
From boom to boom.
So it's kind of hard to answer the question because we've had
Trying to scratch.
people
I
come
feel
through
it.
for like single events as
If I
opposed
make
to
my
like
own R&B
long-term
tape,
learning.
boy, it's gonna be nasty.
But if I count everything, corporate team building, we do all kind of stuff. But
Wow.
I mean, if I included all of that, everything, and the stuff we've done at different high schools and things of that nature, it's 1,500 people.
That's
probably.
crazy.
That's crazy.
I was reading through the site. It says after each level, you gotta sit down with the guys and y'all. What's the evaluation like?
Sounds intense.
We're nice, man.
Okay.
It's like, I mean, it's we just talk about what you can or cannot do or did or did not.
Okay.
How did you progress? It's not. We're not rough on them. But yeah, it's just making sure that they kind of connect the dots between, because also some people come in and they're like, I want to learn that. Well, that might be on a different level than they're at.
Right.
So it's just kind of walking them through that.
It's also kind of got to be, hey, when you leave here, don't go out there and tell them you learned this shit here and you fucking up the
Yeah,
brand.
don't be on bullshit.
Don't go out. Now, if you go out there and do that, because we told you
Remember
couldn't.
where you came from.
Yeah.
That's
Take
I
the
learned this
brand.
from I learned this from Decademix. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, Metronome taught me this one.
Your evaluation says right here 0. You did not learn that here.
That is
trying to play
actually,
us.
that's actually really funny. We're working on an app right now to be able to kind of monitor and kind of have better feedback with the students and everything.
Yeah,
so
because
that'll
that's
help.
why I play you.
Yeah, if you got a 1.5 Decademix GPA, don't be out here trying to book and shit.
The funny thing is again, if you go to LeBron James basketball camp, that doesn't mean you walk out LeBron James. Right?
Nah,
So I mean,
sure you won't.
It's getting some skills.
You went to his camp, all right. So I mean, I can't.
He taught you a pocket pass. You cannot throw the cross court from here. You can't do that.
Co-sign everybody, but
That's fair.
But you get so our motto is you can't download practice.
Oh.
That's like our phrase. That is literally, we have it trademarked.
As you should. 'Cause that's a T-shirt.
Yeah, that's very fun.
Yeah, that's a T-shirt.
So that's the thing. Is like I can't necessarily make someone better.
No.
We can only advise and help and coach, and that they're gonna take it as far as they take it.
For sure.
Damn.
And y'all been going crazy, man. And also, like, shout out to Wushu, because I feel like now you're somebody's Wushu now.
Yeah.
So things have become
absolutely.
full circle. You be able to mentor and educate future DJs going
Definitely.
crazy.
Yeah.
Gandalf with it. Gandalf, my favorite book characters of all time.
He's a movie character for you.
Book character. I read Lord of the Rings. You know what I'm saying? Not like my cousin
He
Ruff.
said you got it messed up.
He did.
I believe you read it.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to J.R. Tolkien.
So just to give somebody an idea, so we joke about. So Ruff's an all-score DJ. He's really good at it. What's the process for somebody like him that says, "I want to be a real DJ now"? What's step one when he walks in the door at Decademix?
You gotta. Well, I mean, first you have to. Step one is like we go over the equipment, how it works. For example, looking at a controller, those have a static platter, meaning that they don't physically spin.
Mm-hmm.
We only teach on turntables. We use Serato, but we only teach on turntables because when you learn on turntables with a rotating platter and dealing with a needle, and the needle adjusts as it plays, you create a relationship there, right?
Oh.
So I don't care if you've been DJing 15 years or 5 years or whatever. He's going to start on day one the same way everybody else starts because you have to create good habits. So that's how it starts. It starts with the baby scratch.
Sounds hella authentic. I fuck with it.
This is real.
Yeah.
That's tight. You're literally bringing an education background into DJing.
Totally, 100%. Like
sure.
I wrote the curriculum so that it's all linear. So what you learn in week one.
He over there getting moist hearing these words. I'm sorry, I'm gonna cut that out the show. Sorry, my bad.
It's going to cost you a cut.
Yeah, I know.
Go ahead.
I never said that.
No, it's all good. Just the whole curriculum's linear. It's designed to help. Whether you take 6 weeks or 36 weeks, we have students that stayed around for 4 or 5 years consistently.
Wow.
So I mean,
Wow.
like you just continue to learn. So
What have you learned about entrepreneurship, DJ Metronome? I think it's crazy. You know a lot of DJs that get into the business and try to make things happen. What's a takeaway that you have from that aspect of this particular creativity, this industry?
Well, our business model hasn't necessarily changed, but the business itself has changed. We started out as just a DJ school, so we just had 3 rooms upstairs, and that was it, right? And then we started a music production program. So now we also teach music production. We've had some students be very successful at that. Actually, one of our students, our very first student we tested on, Darian, he now is produced for T Grizzly and Yo Gotti and a bunch of other people.
Okay.
So like it's evolved in that way, but then we also opened up a store, so now we sell equipment. And
Oh, y'all got monopoly. Okay.
well,
See what you did there.
Stop that.
I learned that I hate digital marketing. I
it's
learned
not
that. But no,
Wow.
the thing that has really been hard for me, which a lot of people talk about on podcasts, and you can see it on Instagram videos of people giving advice, is you really do have to learn to delegate. And I'm bad at that because I'm a real DIY person. Like if something needs to get done, I'm just going to do it.
Yep.
But do you guys know Eric Armstrong, DJ Smooth? He runs all the investment. He runs Her Hair Company. They're a neighbor, a couple doors down.
Okay.
He's been super successful. He does a bunch of investment stuff now. So I was on his podcast maybe a month ago, and he put me up on a lot of game just about how his companies have evolved and how he's delegated a lot of work, and that's something I definitely need to be better at. But it's always changing, man. Like you have to constantly adapt and change and grow.
You've seen a lot in 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
Digitally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's man, I don't know. Just trying to stay on top of everything is hard, but
Got you.
yeah, I'm doing it. So.
Last question, man. Well, I got 2. Oh, this I'm terrible.
I'm not in a
But
hurry.
what makes in your opinion, what makes a cold, legendary DJ? You could just sum that up.
I mean, if I were to sum it up in one word, I would say balance. But also, I mean, sometimes people have specific skills that kind of make them legendary. So, I mean, but generally, I would say as an easy answer, but a truthful answer, I would say balance. Like you need to kind of again be a jack of all trades, master of none, so to speak. Like, but then you have guys, for example, you guys probably don't know who this is, but.
We've been letting you down all day.
Nah, you're good. There's a guy like DJ Qbert, right? He's known as like a scratch god. Okay, so anybody that's ever tried to learn scratching knows who Qbert is, but he would probably be pretty terrible. And I've heard many stories about him being a terrible party. He's not a party DJ, right? So like he has mastered that
scratching
skill
all night.
Yeah, but literally people that do show up to watch him do that.
Right.
So it's like, but generally I would say balance. Like you want somebody that's skillful in a variety of ways. Like you still need to be able to connect with the crowd. You still need to impart some skill upon what you're doing. So
Got you.
there you go. Yeah.
Any future projects that you're working on right now with Decademix or just the DJ Metronome brand?
Man, I literally work like 7 days a week, so sometimes I don't really get a chance to. The pandemic was the first time I was able to really like. It made everybody slow down.
Yeah,
like
sit
all
down.
Of us, yeah, sat all of our asses down. But that was the last time I made a real mix. So that was part of my Soul Supreme series. I have this mix series called Soul Supreme. I made Soul Supreme 4. It's all like kind of underground, kind of lesser known soul. I call it future soul. Right. So not necessarily like power R&B, like, you know, like, but kind of more stuff like Cleo Soul and, you know.
Shout out to Cleo Soul.
Can this be found on SoundCloud?
Yeah, it's on Mixcloud. It might be on SoundCloud. If you Google DJ Metronome Soul Supreme 4.
That G helps you there too.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of DJ Metronome regular.
Exactly. But yeah. So that was one that I did recently that I really need to put 5 out that did pretty well. But I have this other one. I just recently asked a whole bunch of people on Instagram to respond. So I'm hoping I'm answering your question. I'm hoping I can get this particular mixtape series done. I don't have a name for it, but I have essentially I could do one for you guys. So I asked everybody to give me 5 songs they like. They don't have to be. It could be all over the board, any genre, any style. Doesn't matter what it is. Just 5 joints, right? And then I'm going to figure out how to make those all make sense. So I'm just going to put it together.
I would love to play this game.
Let's do it.
I would love to play this game.
Yeah.
I'll play this game.
This is gonna be fire.
I'll play this game.
So it would.
I just send them to you.
Yeah, it would just be a list of five songs you guys like of any style, era, genre.
This is gonna be tight. I'm excited. Don't Pat McAfee us, please.
Yeah, please don't. Please don't do us like that.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Because we're gonna make it a thing.
I'm gonna leave my feet because you pump faking. Don't pump me, please. I'm gonna jump.
He knows I'm busy, but I actually respond well to pressure when it's like, hey, let's do this.
Okay.
So yeah,
He's good at that.
We're gonna run this up.
Yeah.
You have a problem.
I always appreciate it.
I'm making my
this
5
up.
Let's make it
already.
happen.
I
I already thought about 3 or 5 times you saw songs.
It's gonna be crazy.
already
Okay, and
started.
then you gonna make like just the one long mix.
Yeah, I'll just take the songs and so it won't necessarily be your
Just my file,
songs
yeah.
and then I'll just take them all and figure out how to make them work.
All right, we're gonna definitely
We're
do that,
gonna
man.
have
Round of
a
applause,
party.
DJ Metronome, man.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Last thing I'm done. Last one. I swear to you, you gotta get going. My bad. People kind of at home like he won't shut up. What makes a DJ Metronome set different or better than anybody else's set? What you got for that question?
Man, I don't know. I honestly like this sounds like gas, but I'm serious. Like, you know, some nights I'm like, oh man, that was incredible. Other nights I'm like, it was all right. You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily like I don't gas myself and just I'm not every set I play isn't the best set. You know what I mean? Like I think again for me, what I like about this is the best way I can answer it. What I like about myself as a DJ or just kind of my DJ sets is the variety. So depending on where you see me, I can play to whatever. I can shape shift. Like it's no problem to do that. Again, like Tiki Bob's is one thing. When I'm playing Burn by Rocky Patel, it's a different vibe in there. So I'm doing something different, right? If I could do a B-boy battle where I play nothing but funk and soul breaks for break dancers, I could play, all reggae shit. It's like whatever. So being able to like really touch on a lot of different material
up in there.
He said, "Tell me a genre. I got
a bag for it."
I mean, that's kind of. I would say that's kind of. I would consider an area of expertise.
Not everybody can do that.
Nah, it's difficult, man.
So a lot of people think they know a lot of music, but they know a lot of music in one area,
Oh,
right?
yeah, I'm definitely targeted.
I couldn't. There's not necessarily a lot of DJs that I could be like, yo, what Dennis coffee do you have in your library? They'd be like, what? You know what I'm saying? So Dennis coffee,
no Dennis.
yeah, the guitar player from Detroit.
You got a little folk bag too on them sometimes. Like, hey,
I
go
get
crazy.
it.
I play little spoons. What you mean?
I'm not saying I know everything. I'm just saying like having a wide variety.
You know
of
enough.
music
You know
knowledge
enough.
gives
When
you
get the job
options.
done.
Yeah, it just gives you options.
That's it, man. Round of applause, DJ Metronome, man.
I'm so excited. I
He been going the last 5 minutes of the episode.
started searching Soul Supreme first, and I was like, oh, shit, there they go. I'm an R&B head. That's what I do.
Let's move on, man. See y'all next week.
Next.
Next.